Reads and reps. It has been a long time uh, since I've recorded a film study. Reason being, it feels good to be back, by the way. Reason being is copyright issues. I'm scared of getting copywritten. So we have a new series called Reads and Reps. We'll see what happens from a copyright standpoint. But Reads and Reps, what we're looking to do is we're looking at what happened in a fight to cause a knockout. On film, and then the reps are what we need to do to acquire this skill. But we're going to reverse engineer it. This is how I look at film. We look at what happened in the knockout. We look at how it happened, and then we go into setting up a drill over a period of time for you to acquire this new set skill. So first thing we're going to look at is, this is from somebody who commented on one of the videos. I tell you guys all the time, comment on the video so I can make videos based on what you commented. Somebody had asked, okay, I have a video where we talk about setting up the stab to the body and the jab to the body, i.e. Floyd Mayweather, and the two options that were off of it, reads and options. Well, one set up two different options that Floyd has, where he'll stab to the body and he'll come upstairs with the left hook, or he'll stab to the body and come up over the top with the right hand. In that video or in that comment, somebody asked, well, how do you defend the stab to the body, which is a great question. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to film to find that answer, which is going to be the read for somebody stabbing you to the body. We're going to do it from two people. We'll start with the first one first, which is Brian Norman Jr., who will be fighting Devin Haney soon. This is his fight against Sasaki in Japan. So let's look at the setup, which is the read, and what happened with the stab to the body. Right there. So if you guys see, this is a stab to the body. You'll see as well that it potentially landed. It was a scoring shot. But this is not the amateurs. You can win the fight by knockout because you have enough time to set this up. So this would be 5th round of the fight right now. So Brian Norman takes a half step back and a shift at the same time to go from his back foot to his front foot. Or position 1, position 2, position A, position B, whatever your coach's system is. He is just now changing positions from one position to the next to set up the next shot. So if we rewind it real quick, let's look at where Brian Norman is when they get into an engagement area, what your coaches call the line, which means where I can hit you and you can hit me. So right now, if you notice, when Brian Norman blocks or checks Sasaki's jab to the body with his forearm, he shifts his weight to his front leg for the most part, right? So if we can all agree, we can see that. Now we go into the next portion. What does Sasaki do as he's jabbing to Brian Norman's body? Where is he vulnerable to get hit with a next shot? Is it in between? Is it before? Or is it after? We shall see. The answer, after. And if you notice, Norman is going from his front foot, position 1, position A, to now turn this left hook all the way over, because what Sasaki had told Norman is that after I finish this stab to the body, I don't lift up my right hand enough to be able to block myself from this left hook you're about to throw. And so she wrote. So we'll look at that one more time, just so you guys can go ahead and see. Norman accepts the stab to the body, changes his weight and his position from position 1, position 2. From position 2 to position 1. So let's reverse it once again. So he was on his back foot when the stab to the body happened. So now he shifts his weight to his front foot, right? So he can turn this left hook over. If I said that correct the first time, I just want to reiterate that he is going to his front foot. So he is loaded for this left hook, which is going to be a leaping left hook. Okay, so that's one way that we deal with the stab to the body, and that is an Orthodox versus an Orthodox fighter. Another fight I want to look at, which is similar to what could happen from an Orthodox fighter, but we're going to look at two Southpaws and how it happened. So let's look at, I don't know if you guys can see me typing this in. But you guys should see it hop on the screen now. Let's find a good one. Because what we're going to look at, once again, this is the idea of what we do to protect the stab to the body. We're going to look at Errol Spence shoot this jab at Terence Crawford and what Terence Crawford's going to do to deal with this stab to the body. Hopefully they hurry up and get there. Hopefully I didn't miss it, but let's skip ahead. There it is. So this is the reason why I love film, right? So if you guys go back to Brian Norman, before Sasaki threw the jab at Brian Norman to his body, Brian Norman threw the jab at Sasaki. So it's like one of those things where somebody hits you to the body in sparring or somebody hits you to the body in a fight. Now all of a sudden you remember, oh shoot, I can go to the body too. So in the Norman Jr. versus Sasaki fight, he stabbed to the body first, and the very next punch that Sasaki threw was a stab to his body, which he now countered, right? Is this similar to what happens Crawford versus Spence? Crawford stabs to the body. Spence stabs to the body. But the difference in Crawford's stab to the body and Spence's stab to the body is Spence had an exit. Crawford had an exit in mind. He stabs to the body and he gets back out. Because if you see, Spence is going to contract or coil or absorb the shot to the body. And then when he goes to expand or open up, he's looking at a potential counter for himself against Crawford. But Crawford already has his exit as part of the stab to the body, and he gets out. So now Errol's like, okay, we're resetting right now. Now it's my turn to stab to the body. But look what Crawford does that Spence didn't do, and look at what Spence doesn't do that Crawford did. So Spence is stuck. He's shooting that stab to the body, and he's stuck right now. So what does Crawford do? He coils back as well, but instead of just throwing a big left hand, he throws a rear hand first, then he throws that lead right hand. So that's what Crawford does to deal with the stab to the body. We'll look at it one more time live because I don't want these videos to get too long. So those are two reads of how you can deal with the stab to the body. Both of them are going to be counters. Look at Sasaki and Brian Norman the same way that you would look at Spence and Crawford because they're in equal stances, right? It's not Southpaw versus Orthodox or Orthodox versus Southpaw. It's Orthodox versus Orthodox and Southpaw versus Southpaw, which could be very similar. So Brian Norman decided to absorb the stab to the body and throw his leaping left hook. Crawford decided to absorb the stab to the body and throw his rear hand and then the lead hand from that Orthodox stance. So those are two ways that you can deal with the stab to the body. The good thing about this is part one. So this gives you guys enough time to see how would you rep this, how would you drill this to add this to your repertoire in boxing. So that way when part two comes out and I break it down for you, you guys are already thinking of ways you can do it yourself. But this is Reps and Reads, episode 1, I guess you can say, until however long we want to do this for. The next part is part 2, which is going to be the actual rep, and we'll be in the gym for that. I'll see you on the next one.